Imagine preparing your entire life for a single moment. Generations of your family fought for it, men killed for it, and then, the second you finally grasp the crown, it slips away. This happened to Louis Antoine of France. As King Louis XIX, he holds the record for the shortest reign in history, a term of office that lasted less time than it takes to watch a television episode. As the Dauphin, the designated heir to the throne, Louis's life was a decades-long rehearsal. Every lesson and every protocol he learned was designed for a role he was born to play, but could never quite reach. He spent 55 years preparing to inherit a system of absolute power that was quietly dismantling itself in the background. By 1830, King Charles X was ruling a France he no longer understood. He was desperately trying to pull the country back toward a medieval style of kingship, but the people of Paris had moved on. They had lived through the Enlightenment and the Revolution. They were a modernizing populace that no longer accepted the idea of a king with total control. The friction between the king and his people sparked in July. Protests over new decrees turned into open rebellion, with citizens seizing the streets. Charles's refusal to adapt didn't just end his own career. It meant his son would inherit a throne that was already on fire. By August 2nd, the royal family was cornered. Paris was a maze of barricades, and the sound of gunfire was getting closer to the palace. Charles was trapped. He could either order his troops to fire on his own people, starting a civil war, or he could sign away his birthright. He chose the pen. He sat down and signed the document formalizing his abdication. This diagram shows how royal succession functioned in 1830. The transfer of power is instantaneous. The moment one reign ends, the next begins. No gap, no ceremony, no delay. The second the ink dried, the crown legally moved. The Dauphin became King Louis XIX. He was now legally the most powerful man in France. At the exact second, the monarchy lost the physical power to enforce a single order. The clock started immediately. For the next 20 minutes, the palace was a pressure cooker of panic. The revolution wasn't just looking for a new king, it wanted the end of the dynasty. The crowd outside wasn't going to be satisfied with a change of name on a letterhead. Inside, officials and family members crowded around Louis. They weren't offering congratulations. They were begging him to step down before the mob reached the doors. Louis looked at the document his father had just signed and realized the title he had spent 50 years waiting for was now just a piece of paper. He gave in. Under the weight of the collapse, Louis took the pen and scratched his own signature onto the abdication papers. A lifetime of royal training and generational ambition had been compressed into a 20-minute window of total retreat. There was no coronation, no royal portrait was commissioned, and no laws were ever passed in his name. His reign began and ended in the time it takes to eat a meal. This timeline compares France's long-serving kings against Louis. While others have blocks spanning decades, Louis is a sliver so thin it's nearly invisible. Yet, by failing to rule, he became a permanent fixture, recorded alongside great conquerors because he let go so quickly. His 20 minutes on the throne serve as a reminder of how fragile institutions are. A crown only has as much power as the people are willing to grant it. It shows that a title, even one you've waited a lifetime to claim, is meaningless if the world has decided to move on without you.